Hi, my name is Carrie C. Jordan, and I live in Traver, California, and I was awarded the state um, back in June 1983. Um, and my dad was wrongfully accused of a crime that he did not commit, and um, we were forced to live in foster care, um, and we were tortured there. Me and my sister were both in the same receiving home. Um, we both moved in, and we were there for like 3 or 4 days, and then we got sent back to my parents' house, and my dad was no longer there. We had some investigators come to our house and tried to tell us who and what my dad uh, who had committed a crime against us by touching us in certain areas of our body. And I knew that wasn't true. From my gut feeling, I knew that wasn't true. For years and years and years, I felt like these people have been telling me lies all my life. And I went and exhumed my juvenile record, and I suggest to anybody and everybody who wants to find out about your juvenile record and being the ward of the state, I suggest you do it, because they've slandered my name. They slandered my dad's name, my mom's, my sister's, and they wrongfully accused my dad of a child molestation case, and it's unacceptable. They also charged my son on September 6, 2016, I had called the police department and had this really bad feeling. Well, it was a nightmare. My world was flipped completely around. I went from working for ABC Taxi and shoving out rides to the district attorney's office and for the Visalia Police Department for sober drivers. And my ex-boyfriend was ripping me off for a whole year and breaking into my house in the middle of the night. And I was on a medication called gabapentin. It was causing memory loss, heart attack, stroke, and not able to identify what was going on in my surroundings. I thought everybody was against me. They were trying to kick me out of my house, and that's not right, and I was being led by one direction to the other. And mental health wise, I wasn't in the best of conditions, and I've been doing this investigation with regards to my juvenile record and comparing my incident to 2016 and to the incident that happened to me with my sister and being raped and tortured like I was at the Cahuilla Delta Urgent Care on September 6th, 2016. I was raped by a forensics examiner. She was hired by the Visalia Police Department to do an unnecessary examination of my vagina. I never told Officer Sanchez that my son had sexually penetrated or used force or fear, etc. And he had only committed a lewd act. I had told her that my ex-boyfriend had broken into my house and ripped me off for $1,600. And my son went down for the crime. A 289A1A PC and a 288A PC. I can understand the 288A PC because he was a minor when it happened, and he did it to me. He committed a lewd act, and it was unacceptable. That's why I asked for some assistance in this matter. I did not ask to be scraped the holy hell out of. My son never penetrated me. And they ordered a sexual assault response team to come from Fresno sexual assault forensics examiner Linda K. Hampson E. and had raped me. Well, this woman was inside of me. She scraped the holy hell out of me. I told her to stop. She looked me straight in the face while her partner from family services was sitting right next to her. She was watching with a smile on her face the entire time. When I told her to stop, she said, "I'm almost done," and she started scraping me harder and faster. That's rape. I threw up and I passed out on the table. And this lady, Christina Ramos, did not stop Linda, and she let her go on with this process. I've gone to the police station 11 times, and I've told them what has happened about this one particular day, and that they had the witness wrong. The ex-boyfriend, Lee Edwin Paxton, his DNA was inside of me. That lady that scraped the holy hat out of me took his DNA out of me because he had broken into my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't even realize it was him. And he had sex with me, and he ripped me off for a lot of money. And they allowed him to get away with exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to take me down from my family and my finances, and he did. My son got charged with this crime when it was his fault. And these women raped me. And it's not okay. It's very shameful. And I won't go back to a doctor because of it. I'm traumatized. And I feel like they've been torturing me for a long time. This has happened 6 times while in the care of Visalia Police Department. That breaks my heart. I would never cast harm or do no harm to no other person in this world. But when it's your responsibility to hold up to your end of the deal, when you're hiring for somebody to do this type of a procedure, the policies and the procedures needs to change. The Visalia Police Department should not have that right. They should not have that right to commit these assaults against mental health disordered people, or against anybody for that matter. I don't think it's right. I really don't think it's right at all for them to not tell me to prove that Lee Edwin Paxton was committing these crimes. They had his DNA. What did they do with it? And why didn't they test my son's DNA with it if they truly think it was my son's, when they know it was Lee's? And the check that he had signed and endorsed in my name, and it's not my signature, he had done. This check was deposited in my account, and it caused my assets to freeze. My bank account was frozen. The officer was committing a check fraud and would not acknowledge that I had factual documentation to prove that this man was committing this type of crime, along with raping me. Now, if I have to do my own homework and prove that I am innocent, then so be it. This man is guilty, and the officer that told me to do this is not acceptable. I feel hard on. My heart hurts so bad that somebody would deliberately ask me to do something like that. This is not my check. Somebody else came up with the checks, and the individual I just happened to drop off at the judge's house. So you look at it from another point of view, because I work for ABC Taxi, and I've dropped quite a few different people off at different locations along Visalia, and we aren't bound by confidentiality. We have cameras in our cars, and I lost my job after my coworker damn near killed a Visalia Times Delta reporter, Cheyenne, and she handled my grandson's services, his candle lighting. And she is a wonderful person, and I feel for her. I'm very sorry that Tracy Chapman ran you over, ma'am. You know, but my daughter in law is not guilty, and my son is not guilty of what they've said that he is guilty of. And this is slander, and it's misrepresentation. And I can think of so many other things. It's rape and torture. Christina, oh my gosh. She called me once a week for a whole month, asking me if I was still alive, and telling me that I didn't qualify for family services. And that hurt my heart, because I qualify for all services because of my disability. And the reason why I have my disability is because I was gang raped in a Visalia police officer's home. And I was 13 years old. It's not fair. Life isn't fair. But what's really not fair is that these people managed to cover up lies and make up lies about my childhood and my present. And if they're doing it to me and my family because we cannot financially take on the ability to, no matter if I was a court liaison for Central Valley Recovery Services, Gary Payton is responsible. He understands, that, recovery is a process. And so is addiction. And so is mental health. Mental health is a disorder, and you have to live with it for the rest of your life. And coping with it is very challenging, especially with diagnosis of bipolar, manic depressive, suicidal tendencies with post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not cool. But I've been hiding on the edge of Tulare County in fear of my life, not from my son, but from the sexual assault response team that assaulted me, raped me, and tortured me. And the Visalia police officer that had hired her, and that won't take the responsibility of her saying and stepping forward that she did deliberately have raped and assaulted because I turned in this individual, John Kern, when I was a kid. Him and his 4 friends gang raped me. His stepfather worked for Visalia Police Department years ago. He got away with raping my sister and torturing her with barnyard tools. I have the picture that proves that my mother came and visited me after it happened. I've gone through all my records, all my documentation, and I've tried so hard to understand why another woman would do this to another woman. And I'm baffled. And the process of elimination for when it comes to complaints, oh my gosh, how in the world? I'm a person that likes community resources. I teach resources, you know what I mean? And helping aid in this avenue in my life. And if I don't have the tool or the resource to help that individual, I will go out and I will find that tool. I will find that tool, and I will make sure that it's accessible for somebody just like me or somebody in the same predicament as myself. And I found that there was 4 other people that were wrongfully accused of a child molestation charge or a lewd act to a minor. And that's harsh. That shows how deep and how corrupt the state of California has been. I've been quiet long enough. I can't be quiet any longer. And a federal investigation really needs to be involved. And you go through your juvenile record, individuals, if you were put in a foster care, I suggest you look up your JV record. You don't know what these people are saying about you or what they've said about you and your family members. That's not right. I want to pull my record up and I want to bring it into the federal court and I want to sue the hell out of the state of California. Whoever's with me, please raise your hand. Because, hey, nobody will give me an attorney because of what these people have done to me. I can't even get the attention of ABC News, Fox 26, or 47. That's not on my side. I need some assistance. If there's anybody out there that's listening and they would like to know about the state of California and the ward of California, I was born and raised and taken away from my home. And so was my son. And that's strong arm, and discrimination was a factor. When you saw my son-in-law come out of my house that day, you ran over to your partner, Mr. Hickey, Miss Sanchez, and you went and talked to him. What you said, I don't know. But after that, it went real ugly. Because the look that you gave to him just totally said it all. I know you didn't hear anything about what I said to you, about my ex-boyfriend ripping me off. And that's sad. May God bless you and keep you safe, ma'am. Because you're going to need it. The responsible party in all this, well, let's see here. Mike and Sandy Kern and John Kern. John Kern works for our government in Texas. These people got away with forced trauma. My sister was raped, and I was forced to live in that foster home until they gang raped me. And I disclosed and I told to my teacher, my Elbow Creek Elementary teacher, my resource specialist teacher, Suzanne Wimula. She saved my life. If it wasn't her son, and what her and parents had done for me for all those years, I wouldn't have a good head on my shoulders and to pull myself out of the suicidal tendencies that I've been experiencing throughout these last almost 3 years. I've been working very diligently on my tools that I've been given in counseling. Dialectical behavioral therapy and rapid eye movement, and I smoke a little weed and I mix it with my tobacco, and it keeps me at a mellow. If the weed is too low, it makes it very difficult for me to stay calm. It needs to be a higher dosage in the THC levels. I'm trying very hard to be level. I'm the kind of person that cares about other people. And I consider what I'm doing, living in a tent, a form of retaliation, I would say, protest, because I know better. I will not stick myself into a home where I was forced out of that had termites. I had to look up online and find something that doesn't get eaten by termites, and I came up with Air Concrete. Amazing product. Oh my gosh. Anybody, look up Steve's Dome Home, okay? That place gives me comfort in my heart. And I want one of those. Do I know how to build those? No, I'm not a builder. Oh my God. I'm a blonde, okay? Legally blonde. And I've been looking at my court record, and I looked up my past, and I looked at my present, and I've been trying really desperately to stay calm about all of this without going irate, and I'm not the kind of person that goes off and protests, but when you hold your tongue just too long, and a wonderful woman comes on saying that she does know, you know, become president, and I would like for her to run, you know. Um, I saw her on The View this morning. It was really awesome. You know, it touched my heart. It made me stand up for what I believe in. And that's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. God is with me all the way to the very end. And yeah, I didn't learn sign language until I picked it up when I was going through my trauma. You know, I knew a little bit here and there, and singing in sign language has been a gift from God along the way. And I feel very blessed to be in God's promised land, the land of the milk and the honey. You know, I was raised on a dairy a long time ago, and I miss it. You know, and I wish we wouldn't have moved away from there. I wish we would have stayed, but I wouldn't have been blessed with my 3 children and the experiences that I've experienced. And please, anybody and everybody, if you see this, and that's to care about the people that are in our community. And I haven't seen only but one person that cares about me as being who I am, the way I am, accepts me for who I am. And you don't get that around here. Nobody does. You know, being homeless, they judge you. You know, I'm not perfect, you know, and whenever I go into a courtroom and I have to serve for jury duty, I always say, you know, he who is without sin, may he cast the first stone. And they threw the first stone when they wrongfully put my dad in prison for a year, and they wrongfully did my son the way he did. That trilunar eclipse was wicked. It was not right. It broke my heart. Broke my heart to see that my grandson was murdered by Eddie Diaz and my daughter-in-law going down for murder. And the police station just lets all this shit just crumble apart. Forces me out on the streets. It's not right. I lost my home. I lost my family. I lost my finances. I gave up my finances. I said, fuck it. You know, I won't get a loan. I don't want to drive a car. I don't want to drive again. You know, while on that medicine, that gabapentin, oh my God, I wanted to kill myself so bad. I got sued 2017 for a car accident that I T-boned a man in the taxi cab. And that was going through my mind at that moment was, I just wanted to go home. I wanted to go away from here. I wanted to go back to heaven. I've been there 8 times. Sent right back. Why? Because the world still needs Carrie Sue George. What for? Because my daughter-in-law needs me, and they're profit caging and wrongfully convicting people of crimes that they are victims of. My daughter-in-law was a victim of domestic violence. The guy was beating the shit out of her and her sister, and they published and told everybody on the news that these two had beaten my grandson, murdered him, and that's not correct. Not correct at all. Shania would never commit kind of a heinous maximus crime. She was going through postpartum depression when she was at my house. My son wasn't allowed to go to work. He was there to take care of her. That was his job. He was supposed to take care of her, because she was going through her ups and downs. And I know how important it is for somebody to get through the process of postpartum depression, and how much they need their significant other to be with them. And my house was small. I was supporting a lot of individuals in my home, and I love them all. But this man, Lee Paxton, he ripped me off a lot. He ripped me off tooth and nail. It was bad. I'd be at work and he'd call me and say, "Hey, if you don't get home and give me some money, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna sell it, and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna sell that." I'm like, "I'm in Fresno, dude. I can't get to you. Why are you doing this to me? Breaking and entering in my house. I'm not one for telling, you know, but you know what? Damn. Why didn't the fucking cops listen when I told them this is ridiculous?" They knew what person he was and what kind of actions he had been committing. Allowed this man to continue to do the harm that he was doing to me and my family. And he was doing the same thing, not only just to me, but to 4 other women at the same time. And he was very manipulative, conning. He was a con, badly. And he was racist, truly racist. And he was an informant for the Visalia Police Department. And I'd watched them get in and out of their vehicle several times in Visalia in the alleyway. And I didn't believe him at first. I didn't believe him about telling me that he was going to take me from my family and my finances. That just kind of dwindled away, you know what I mean? But when he had my head bashed in, and in February or March, I think it was March 2017, he had sexually assaulted me, raped me, stole from me, had my son committed on these were all 2000. I'm so dyslexic. It just sucks. I'm all over the place, and it sucks. That's why I can't do videos. I need somebody to sit there and do questions, or you ask me something, I tell you the truth. I have no problem with telling the truth. And I've been trying to file a complaint now, and I don't know how to file a lawsuit. I only know how to be somebody myself. I really, really want the FBI to get this and understand that, I'm saying this is a huge fucking conspiracy. I cannot fucking believe it. Oh, sorry about the F word. Oh, I'm so sorry, Isabel. You remind me. No more. Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul. I've been working on my kissing. It's not cool. I'm not very good with webcasts or podcasts, but I'm gonna try and do those instructional wise. All I know how to do is pull weeds and use a weed eater. That's how blonde I am. I don't know how to fill out papers. I know how to copy them. I know how to answer the phones. I know how to do an intake. I know all about recovery. I know how to live my life by recovery. I do a moral inventory every single day. And I don't cause any harm. I'm never vindictive. I'm never malicious. And I don't lie. And I don't steal. I have honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness on my back, tattooed. And I was a wuss getting it on. In Visalia Rawhide. Let it rain. May God bless you all. Bye. How do you turn it on? May God bless you all. Thanks. I don't know how to turn it off.